So, yeah, I have a theory going on in my brain that if you are a perfectionist as well as also a person who suffers from imposter syndrome, it's going to be very detrimental to your well being if you are also, um, what's the word? I don't want to say antisocial, but less social and more reluctant to speak to people about what you're doing and the things you are doing and asking for feedback. Because hear me out, I, I feel like to a degree, we are all somewhat used to the feeling of imposter syndrome. It happened to any and every one of us. And it will keep happening in any time, in any phase of your life where you jump into something you haven't experienced before, something where you will feel a little bit out of your depth, or something where you are still in the learning curve. And that's just life, man. We will constantly be faced with new and new challenges where we have to learn, adapt, and speak to people. So, oftentimes, if you are a perfectionist, you're gonna have it in your mind that you have to be great from the get go. You have to have it all locked in, have the full understanding. And it will make you feel, because you put in all this pressure on yourself and you're thinking it's the way shit should be, it's gonna make you also more closed off and, what's the word, reluctant to ask for help. So it's going to make it very difficult for you to grow. But also, if you are a person who's a bit on the lower end of the social spectrum, where you don't socialize as much, you don't talk, you're not as open to providing and asking feedback, it's going to make it very difficult for you to come out of your imposter syndrome thought loop and thought pattern, because you're going to have no input on what's actually happening, what's actually going on. Like, for example, if you're a very self-critical person and you're just going about doing your thing every day and you're not speaking with people, sharing ideas, brainstorming or whatever the fuck, asking for feedback, you're just going to assume that you don't know what you're doing, you're out of your depth, you're not doing the right thing, and shit is going wrong. And you're always going to have that anxiety in whatever you're doing, in the work you are doing. And it goes about the exact opposite. Like, if you get into a job or business, entrepreneurship, and you develop a social circle where you can go do the things you're doing, and then thereafter have a conversation with the person, another human being, have some reflection on that, and see if things are going smooth, if they're going the way they should be, or if you've made a mistake. And I think that's the thing. You can't be an imposter if you don't know what the general atmosphere of the thing is. And for a lot of us, we all just in a job, we in a hustle, just figuring it out as we go along. And that's just life, bro. We all just figuring out shit. It's not that deep, bro. It's all a learning curve, it's a learning pattern. The problem that comes with is someone taught you a thing once or twice and then you're still fucking up. Yeah, then you're gonna have your ass on the line. But usually the first mistake is always allowed. That's how we learn, that's how we grow. We do a thing, we go, we speak, we get input, and we make an adjustment if needed. And that's the thing. I feel like for a lot of people, they get stuck into that thing of imposter syndrome, perfectionism, that they decide to drop out when things are getting difficult. They decide that it's not worth it, that maybe they're not good enough. They also forget that they ever will be good enough, and they just write it off before any growth can come, any growth can happen. And you see, the funny thing is, with life in 2026, there's videos for everything. Fucking accountants are making YouTube videos. Computer programmers are making YouTube videos. Lawyers are making YouTube videos. So pretty much, if you're gonna go into a job market a bit antisocial, and you don't know what you're doing, and you decide to watch a YouTube video, now you're obviously going to be met with someone who thinks they are professional enough, they reach that level in their career where they can educate other people. You're going to look at this and be like, fuck, I should be knowing all of these things. Other people probably know all of these things. And the truth is, you just started your career. There's a lot of stuff that you're going to learn. And yes, maybe that YouTube video can be a means for you to learn something new. I think it's better to go speak to colleagues and learn how they're doing it in their individual circumstance with the constraints that they are facing within the business. Because if you're going to go off just the video, you're going to have this ideal structure and this ideal way of doing it. Whereas if you just be more social in your vicinity and get trained hands-on by the people around you, you'll get a better understanding of what's the business constraints that you're in and how are we doing it best for our circumstance. And then it will also make you realize like, hey, maybe my colleagues also don't know what the fuck they're doing, and now we're all just going to be in a brainstorming session figuring this shit out, or maybe we can all just watch the YouTube video. Because I got into that mindset a bit when I just started this job that I recently resigned from. Initially, when I was there in the start, we were managing and there was like a lot of tools at our disposal, but not everyone knew how to use it. In fact, no one really knew how to use it. Now I saw them there and I'm like, okay, tools are always valuable. Let's figure out these digital tools. So first, I went to go ask my fellow managers, like, guys, what is this thing used for? How are we using it? How can we implement it? Everyone was left blank and said they didn't get training on it. So I was like, let's learn it. Let's pull up the guide. Let's figure it out. Let's dedicate some couple of minutes to the shit, and then we can improve processes and operations. Whereas if I just jumped into it and I just assume like, shit, I should be knowing certain things, and if I don't know it, then I should just shut up about it, so no one else around me sees that I'm incompetent. Because yes, of course, I felt incompetent in my first month, because there was a lot of things to learn, stuff that even I thought I knew. When it was time to implement it, I realized like, fuck, I actually don't really know how we do it in this specific business circumstances. So we learn, and we grow. And that's just about it in life, is you have to allow yourself to be an imposter. But don't just be an imposter and fake it till you make it, bro. Ask people, tell people, guys, I'm out of my fucking depth. I don't know what we're doing. Let's learn it. Because yes, in the start, people might second guess you and be like, oh shit, how the fuck did this guy get the job? He doesn't know shit. But now, you're not shy to ask all the people around you. So meaning, you're going to grow more than your colleagues. You're going to learn, you're going to adapt, you're going to see things differently from them, because in every different sphere, you don't know what you're doing. Instead of passing the buck on to the next person, you're going to go seek out that knowledge, that understanding, that you'll be able to give provide more broader value to the business, making you yourself irreplaceable. So yeah, that's just my 2 cents for today, is if you are feeling like an imposter, don't be shy to ask for help, ask for assistance, seek out, that human connection and learning and guidance. Because either, they'll give you the answer, or you guys will figure out the answer together, and now everyone is learning. Bye-bye.